Hi, welcome to the channel. If you snap your engine under tray bolt on your Abarth 500, you don't need to tap a new thread or widen the original hole. Today I'm using a 9.5 inch Rivet Nut tool to install a M5 Rivet Nut directly into the pre-existing hole, which gives a permanent factory strength fix. So let's get into it then. The first task is to remove the under tray. This will give you much better access when addressing the snap bolt. As you can see, there should be 6 bolts holding the under tray on, but unfortunately in my circumstances there's only 4. One's snapped and one is held in by a zip tie, which will be addressed later. Next job, using a 4mm centre punch, we're going to punch a guide mark in the base of the snap bolt to keep the drill bit centralised so it doesn't wander off when we start drilling. Moving on, the next task is to drill out the snap bolt. This took approximately 10 minutes of steady, methodical, low RPM drilling using the mentioned drill bits, with several applications of WD-40 throughout. The footage of this process has been edited from 10 minutes down to approximately 90 seconds, as watching that much drilling is obviously very stale and honestly adds very little value to the guide. Now we're complete drilling out the stud. We're just checking to make sure there's no debris in the hole and that the M5 Rivet Nut fits securely inside. If you've used a Rivet Nut tool before, this will not necessarily be applicable to you. However, if you haven't, then we'll talk through how to use one in this application. First job is to ensure we've got the correct nose piece fitted. As you can see here, the M6 was originally fitted when the tool came out of the box. So we're fitting the M5 because that's the size Rivet Nut that we'll be using. Next is fitting the M5 mandrel. This is inserted threaded end first and pushed fully into the tool. Final part of the setup is to thread the M5 Rivet Nut onto the threaded end of the mandrel, ensuring that it is screwed flush with the nose piece. Once set up, push the threaded Rivet Nut into the hole and squeeze the handles until they cannot be compressed any further. Once you're happy it's secure, undo the thread until the mandrel is free from the rivet nut. Finally, we're checking to ensure that our rivet nut is secure by inserting an M5 20mm bolt and pulling firmly downwards. As mentioned earlier, we'll now focus on replacing the zip tie to a more suitable robust fixing. Once we've marked the appropriate area, drill a pilot hole first before opening it out to the required size. Temporarily refit the under tray and mark the location of where you want to drill in the bumper. As there was no obvious point to secure the under tray to, I've improvised by fixing a rivet nut to the plastic of the rear lowest section of the front bumper. Again, I've used an M5 rivet nut for this application. Once the repairs are complete, the last job is to refit the under tray using the original fittings and the new M5 rivet nuts and bolts. Due to the holes in the sides of the under tray, you'll possibly need some large or medium sized M5 washers. Here we can see that the new fixings are more than appropriate enough for holding the front of the under tray in position. Now's the time to say, if you've found this guide helpful, a like, comment or subscription will be very appreciated. There'll be more videos coming soon, so see you in the next one. Thanks for watching. Likewise, you can see the new M5 fittings have secured the under tray firmly in position.